It was just a spoonful of words, but they stayed with Yumi like thorns under her skin. One cloudy afternoon in her quiet village, Yumi came home from the market with her eyes low and her heart heavy. The other women had whispered behind her back again. About her clothes, about her father who drank too much, about how no one would ever want to marry a girl like her. She hadn't said a word. She just carried the weight, like always. In the wooden house that creaked with the wind, Yumi sat silently by the window, watching the rice fields sway under the gray sky. Her grandmother, now too old to tend the fields, noticed her silence, but said nothing. Pain in these parts was rarely spoken aloud. The next morning, Yumi walked up the hill behind her house to visit the old temple. It was barely visited anymore, except for a gentle monk named Tenzin, who had lived there for years. He was always sweeping the steps, feeding birds, or praying under the ancient sakura tree. Yumi bowed respectfully. Tenzin looked up and smiled. Without asking anything, he said, "Come, Yumi, I want to show you something." Inside the small temple kitchen, he filled a glass of water and added a spoonful of salt. Then he handed it to her. "Drink." She took a small sip and immediately pulled back, grimacing. "It's bitter. It's awful." Tenzin nodded calmly. Then, still in silence, he led her down the path behind the temple to a wide, clear lake surrounded by forest. The wind rustled through the trees, and the water reflected the soft morning light. He took the same spoonful of salt and dropped it into the lake. "Now," he said, "drink from here." Confused but obedient, Yumi cupped her hands and sipped. It was fresh, pure, cooling. The bitterness was gone. Tenzin looked at her kindly. "The salt is your pain. The water is your mind. When your world is small, pain tastes unbearable. But if you make your world bigger, if you open your heart, your understanding, your compassion, the pain is still there, but it no longer poisons you." Yumi stood with silence, tears welling in her eyes, not from sadness, but from the sudden lightness that entered her chest. All these years she had held on to every insult, every harsh word, every failure like they were truths carved in stone. But they were just salt in a glass, and she had the power to pour them into a lake. That night, Yumi sat by the same window, but this time she smiled, not because the world had changed, but because she had. The pain may still come, but the suffering is up to you. If this story touched your heart, don't stop here. Watch the next one. Learn, grow, and open your mind like the lake. Sometimes, the answer is not to remove the pain, but to become bigger than it.